Every day.
That's okay.
It's okay to be dreary day
No.
because it's what matters inside. Look at you. You look like a hot little lumberjack, ready to conquer this day, ready to cut it all up into kindling and firewood.
So.
We're live.
Good morning.
Good morning. What?
I'm just waiting for you to have something so clever to say.
No, I have nothing
No
clever
pressure.
to say. I did wake up and I looked outside my window.
Yes.
And we've had many trees in our neighborhood removed. There was the war on ash.
Oh my goodness.
Man, the ash war, that was like 2 years ago.
Our neighborhood was decimated.
Our neighborhood was decimated. It felt like every tree in our neighborhood was ash.
Yeah.
And so they all got taken away. Like our whole front rows of all our houses, all the way down our street was ash. And all of a sudden you could see everybody's house again. And so that was Chainsaw Massacre, every day, all day, chainsaws. And then the tornado of last year took down the rest of the trees. And so we're very treeless here in New Orleans. And last year they started planting little trees. So we have a little maple in front of our house. And I looked outside and everything was gray except our little maple. It was like so bright orange. Mm-hmm. So I took a picture of it.
Pretty.
And I just thought, even though that the world surrounds you by gray, you can still be okay.
Oh, that's so
be your own kind of color.
So poetic.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
I had another dream.
You had another dream. A using dream? A coda using dream? Your using dream stressed me out.
Yep.
Did you ever dream that you were awake? It's interesting because my dream life before I got sober,
well, I'm not ever sleeping.
I was always dreaming I was awake in my dream, and then I was
sense.
being paralyzed and all that stuff. And then using dreams, I was waking up thinking I was high. Oh. Horrible torment. Well, what was your dream about?
Someone came to somewhere that I was at. There was
someone
like a bunch of people.
Like a person?
Yeah, that we know. And there was a bunch of people, and someone was like, they were with two people that we know came, and one of them was looking for help, and the other person was like bringing them to people, and then said like, no, not them, and then started like listing all the things that she was angry with us about and all these things. And then I woke up from the dream very concerned about that person, and then I just started praying. So
the person that had the list was taking
no.
Person
just
that needed
somebody
help.
Somebody who's looking for help, but then like is like angry with us, and so I was like, oh.
I thought of the paralytic getting drawn through the roof.
I know.
And there's people that want help, and there's people trying to help those people.
Yeah.
And those people can be very critical.
And in the dream, I said, "This isn't about us. Like you're like." The addiction is just trying to distract you. Like, it's not about us. Mm-hmm. And so just, like, just admit, like, you've admitted that you need help. And so just, like, take it wherever it's available. Like, it's not about us. We didn't. And so.
That sounds like a stressful.
Oh, my gosh. I don't need to remember my dreams. Like, I don't need to be dreaming.
It's weird that you've never dreamed, and now that you're doing this recovery thing, you're getting dreams every night. I really believe that God speaks to us in dreams. I know that He speaks to me in dreams. I had a dream about somebody last night, and I messaged them. I hope that's not weird for people. I was dreaming about you.
Someone sent me a message and said that the other day, that she dreamt that we were hanging out. She doesn't even live in the city, and she dreamt that we were hanging out, and like it was so good to see me, even if it was in her dream, and that she hopes that we can like see each other again, and then said like whatever. And so I think that was like, even with my dream, I just remembered how much I care about this person, and I do I think.
Imagine we all got dreams, and there were like little messages from God, from the Spirit of God to people. And if we know 10 people or 20 people, imagine we all did that to each other, encouraged each other every day. That'd be nice. Anyway, dream life, eh?
Yeah.
Dream life can be
Oh my gosh.
interesting. Do you have
and so
dreams?
then I just wake up in the middle of the night.
Do you think most people have dreams?
I don't know. I didn't ever.
Because you're...
And it was the same thing, like, if people stayed over at our house or whatever, I'd say, like, don't even worry. Like, if you get up, I'm not going to hear you. I'm sleeping. Like, I just sleep. That's something I've always been proud of. I just sleep.
When you sleep?
Yeah, I just sleep
if
when I
you
sleep.
ever get to sleep?
And I could sleep forever.
You have trouble getting to sleep, but...
Yeah, once I'm asleep, I could sleep
in the
forever.
morning, you have trouble not waking up.
I just love sleeping.
But now that you're in recovery, you're not riddled by adrenaline.
Yeah, so
and
I
you
wake
can
up.
sleep properly and get up properly. Oh my goodness.
So I wake up from a dream often now, and then I just have to, like, I just pray. I pray for the person. I thank God for them, and
being around early
protection.
recovery guys for as long as I have, they always get dreams. And God has given me, as they're telling a dream, I will get interpretation of the dream. Happens all the time. And I can actually hear like an interpretation, which is really bizarre. So then I'll just be able to share what their dream could be meaning.
Well, the only thing you ever tell me is that I'm having using dreams, so...
You'll probably transition.
All my dreams are about problems. And then I don't fix them.
Your dreams are stressful.
I don't fix them, though. Yeah. I don't try to...
I just drink in my
Other
dreams.
people don't want you to fix their life.
No. Or be controlled.
I mean, I knew... Anyway.
All right, let's get into our book of Codependent No More. We like to talk about both sides of addiction, codependency and substance abuse, and everything in between. So this is how we like to start.
Oh, no. My alarm on my phone is going off. At 8:30, we're supposed to start our video.
Oh, look at that. Will it shut off?
No, it'll just keep going forever.
Alarm off.
What I do want to happen is that I will be of real service to others. And so it's not that, like, I don't want to help people. I want to be of real service to people. And I want to, like, I don't know what being of real help to someone looks like.
Taking them through the 12 steps.
No. I don't need you to answer my questions. Thank you. I'm just saying.
That's the right answer.
But also, I think that there's also, like, tangible things that oftentimes, like, somebody who has more can do for people who have less. Or, you know, like, I don't think that it negates the actual doing of other things.
Of course not. We should be a service to people.
I need...
For the glory of God.
Yeah,
If your brother's thirsty, give him a drink.
Right, exactly.
But then, the other part of it is being available. So the Good Samaritan, the person that picked him up was available, and he used his resources. He had the time, or he made the time to stop.
Right.
And I think so many times we don't make that time. We're too busy.
Right.
Call this person. Call Vicky. She'll help. Even if it is in your dream.
What? I don't know what you... I feel like you just contradicted yourself.
No, people don't make the time to help people. They send them to other people.
Oh, I see.
That are helping people. Just like your dream.
I see.
Came all full circle. You don't have to fully understand.
Gotcha.
Makes sense to me.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Being honest with ourselves. Like, I don't have to run around like a chicken with my head cut off helping everybody.
No.
I need to let other people...
But we have to be available to help people, to give them real help.
Okay.
And the real help that we talk about in recovery is taking them through the process of the 12 steps. Okay. That's real help. Do they want that real help?
You have strong opinions about this matter, and I am actually
there's tangible
waiting for
help
God to
where
show
you
me.
give somebody a glass of water, but there's real help of taking somebody through a healing process.
Yes.
That's called discipleship.
Right.
Real help.
Being honest with ourselves. When I say that I'm waiting for God to show me, like, what, as I go through this process, that I feel like it's going to become more clear to me how I can be of real service to people.
Good.
That's all.
After this, you can make breakfast.
That would be a real help? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to rewatch that because I feel like you said something good and it got muddled. I'm sorry.
I sure did.
Being honest with ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship we need to maintain. I don't agree with that, but the quality of that relationship will determine the quality of other relationships. When we can tell ourselves how we feel and accept our feelings, we can tell others. When we can accept what we want and need, we will be ready to have our wants and needs met. When we can accept what we think and believe and accept what's important to us, we can relay this to others. When we learn to take ourselves seriously, others will too. When we learn to chuckle at ourselves, we will be ready to laugh with others. When we have learned to trust ourselves, we will be trustworthy and ready to trust. When we can be grateful for who we are, we will have achieved self-love. When we have achieved self-love and accepting our wants and needs, we will be ready to give and receive love. When we've learned to stand on our own 2 feet, we're ready to stand next to someone. Oh. Today I will focus on having a good relationship with myself.
I do think that's important. Because God loves us so that we can love others. So if we don't love ourselves, it's hard to love other people. And I thought of the number one influencer in my life has been me. I have a rhetoric going on in my head. So if I don't have a healthy me, then where am I really? And am I standing beside people?
Yeah.
Or am I love that. When you've learned to stand on our own 2 feet, we're ready to stand next to somebody. And I think that's real help. Yeah. Is standing next to people, not behind them, pushing them,
next
not
to them.
in front of them, dragging them.
You know what I realized is so important? Just showing up.
Showing up.
So for me, like I've said, like, okay, I'm part of this church and I'm going to do this study or this small group. And then I'm going to do this meeting. And then when I just say like, oh, I'm tired. Okay, this was me last night. I said, oh, I'm tired. I have a little bit of a headache. I had a really busy day. I had a fantastic day, but I felt busy. And I felt tired after supper. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to go on a Zoom call. They don't really need me there. I could just, yeah, I do have a little bit of a headache. I think it would be good for me if I just rested. And then I thought, no. Like, I've said I'm going to do these meetings. This is a thing that I'm going to be part of. And I actually have a responsibility to show up every week. And then the little voice, like, you've been there every time. Like, you haven't missed one.
Have a conversation with yourself.
But I was like, I realized, like, there's such a significance to actually, like, showing up every single week and just being present. It's not that I have to, like, talk a whole lot or whatever, but I need to have a smile on my face most of the time, have some input, and be present. And that me being present at the things that I've said that I'm going to do is actually doing so much for me. But that's also of, like, being
and what's the meeting
part
called?
Of community.
What's the meeting called?
There's several meetings. I'm just talking about anything.
What's the meeting last night called?
We don't have a name for it. I don't know.
You just go to random meetings? You don't have... No. What's the meeting about?
Well, we read a passage of scripture and then we go through it.
Is it Alcoholics Anonymous meeting?
No.
Is it what kind of meeting?
A Bible study.
Oh, it's a Bible study. Oh,
but we don't call it. We don't have a name for it.
I thought it was emotional. But...
No.
Okay.
Why? What were you going to say?
I was going to
I feel like you're challenging me on something.
No. I thought it would be funny if it was an emotional sobriety meeting.
But my point is that it doesn't matter what it is.
It doesn't matter.
It might seem insignificant, but if I come, like, especially in this time where there's not a whole lot for us to do, it's really significant to commit to things and show up every single week, even if it's on Zoom and I don't necessarily like it. Because that's the only way right now that I'm creating community or being part of a community is by showing up every week on a Zoom call. And I think I can easily dismiss the significance of that for me and others. Like, for me and all the people that are involved. And I can easily compare myself and say, like, well, they're not as committed as I am. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's not that every single person has to be there every week or they're no good. But just what I realized last night is, like, just showing up, like, you're gonna feel so much better. And it really did. Like, it shifted. I didn't feel tired afterwards. And I do a marathon on Thursday nights. I do
marathon.
I do 3 meetings back to back, and I love it.
When we learn to chuckle at ourselves, we'll be ready to laugh with others. And I think that's part of being honest with myself. I can remember being slapped in the face with my fear and realizing how funny it is that my foundation was built on fear. And in a class, I was actually laughing at myself because I come across as this tough guy. no fear whatsoever, and then I'm realizing that my whole life is based on fear, and that's just being aggressive is just a response to the fear that I have within me. I'm like laughing out loud in a group at a rehab center. And then there's times where I've actually been able to see myself, and I'm laughing at myself because I thought so contrary my whole life. And so when I'm honest with myself, when I can see honestly in the mirror, I can laugh at myself going like, wow, what a need I have for recovery, what a need I have for God, because of myself I'm nothing, but I've thought I'm so much this whole time. And so I think being honest with myself has actually brought me to be able to have good relationships with people and being able to stand there with people. Not over them, not behind them, and not in front of them.
It's interesting because when I was going through that last night of like thinking about the meeting and stuff, I realized that like probably I'm my tendency, and I think a lot of people's tendency would be to like minimize, like, well, it doesn't really matter if I go or not. Like, it's not that significant. They probably don't even really, it's not like and so a lot of us can be like self-degrading and like, and I think that was significant about the reading of just saying like the quality of the relationship that I have with myself is going to determine the quality of the relationships that I have with other people. And the reality is that there's like, there's people that come to whatever, a Zoom meeting, who probably think like, oh, they don't really want me there, or they don't really care if I'm there or not. And we do. But I think what matters most is actually that I go to a meeting to give. And so even just that simple act of like showing up every week is me giving to the group and helping to create and foster community.
So true. And I don't lie to you. I don't really lie to anybody around me, but I lie to myself. Why do I lie to myself?
Oh gosh, I lie to myself all the time.
I say I'm going to do this, or I'm going to eat this way, I'm going to work out this way, and I don't do it.
It's true.
And I lie to myself.
Me too.
So am I really honest with the world around me? I got to be honest with myself. All right. Are you honest with you?
I'm such a liar. I lie to myself all the time.
So then are we really honest to the world around us?
I just had to write that in my journal because I was like, oh, wow, the last time I journaled was a while ago.
Oh my goodness. It's not about doing, it's about being. Not. So I don't have to like do behavioral therapy to be honest. I just have to be honest. It's a trait that I have to just be.
Did you listen to the Dax Shepard interview? Do you know who Dax Shepard is?
A little bit.
So that's one of the things that he talked about. So he's an actor, quite famous, who talks a lot about his recovery, 16 years sober, from alcohol and cocaine, and then wound up using opiates for back injuries. He had lots of injuries, lots of surgeries, motorcycle accidents, all this stuff. And his wife would always give him his opiates, like for his pain, and then it got away from him. And he always like had a lot of pride in like how, look at me, I'm doing this recovery thing super well. And then he talked about that. Like he said that journaling was something that he was like so set on, and he did it every single day, never missed a day. And then he quit journaling 2 years ago. And the interview just came out, I don't know, like last month or whatever, where he said he had 7 days clean. And he said when he looked at why he stopped journaling, it was because he couldn't be honest in his journal anymore. And so he's like, he couldn't be honest in his journal because he didn't want, like, he was like, what if it gets found? And then he can't sit there and like lie in this journal. So what's the point? And that was 2 years ago. And he was nowhere near like
relapsing.
He wasn't near relapse. Well,
he was.
Obviously he was if he can't be honest in his journal. But in his mind, he wasn't. In his mind...
So this is a good reading.
I know, it's such a good reading.
You started off by like, I disagree.
Well, I know, of course. I'm sorry.
No,
I shouldn't... Yeah. Anyway.
Let's leave it on that note. Let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah. All right. Peace and love. Have a great day.